everyone, good evening. So welcome to my YouTube channel. That's Jepoy Sub M. So this YouTube channel was made because of the demand of having an online discussion in our subjects, specifically because of the class suspension that we are facing right now here in NCR. So we are advised to do online classes, and this is the medium that I can do to my students so that they could have a catch up whenever they are having a misconfusion about the discussion in the PowerPoint. Okay, so shout out lang muna ako sa aking mga estudyante dyan, mga second year ko, mga tourism and HM students, and also my Lycean students from the Lyceum of the Philippines University. Shout out tayo dyan. And most importantly, ang aking mga estudyante na first year, B12 AM, B12 PM, and also the C12 evening. So magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, okay? So this is my video about the supply chain management in hospitality industry. So before I start my video, I would like to raise first an awareness about the current situation that we are facing right now here at National Capital Region. As of now, we have 140 confirmed cases of COVID-19, and every day it adds more additional infected people, and it's very alarming because habang tumataas siya, lalong nagkakaroon ng risk from our health. Okay, so I advise all my students to please practice good sanitation and proper hygiene. Always wash your hands. Sanitation and using of alcohol is good, but it's much more protected if you first wash your hands by soap. Okay, and also stay away from crowded people or places. Kung wala naman tayong dapat gawin sa labas or wala naman tayong need puntahan, just stay at your home and read your notes, help your parents to clean up your houses and any other household chores. Okay, this is only 1 month and we're praying for a fast recovery of what's happening in our society right now. So ikalawa kong advice is clean all the areas of your house. We all know that this virus could be an airborne, so hindi natin masabi na safe then in some other parts of our house. So number one thing that we need to do is to have a general cleaning. Okay, so I'll start my discussion now. So this is module 7 of our subject in supply chain management in hospitality industry. So this module 7 is our last topic for the midterm. So supposedly this is a topic last week, but since there is a continuous cancellation until April 14, that's why we haven't discussed it on a face-to-face interaction. So what I need to do right now is to do an video recording so that the student can able to save this video, and then while they are playing this video, they could have reading the PowerPoint presentation for better understanding about the topic and also the discussion. Okay, so to my second year student, I have here 27 slides of the presentation. So I haven't sent it, but later on or until tomorrow, I'll send it in your Google Classroom or in your group chats, so you would have a balanced understanding between the video that I am recording and also the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so on the slide 2, what you can see is the learning objectives. Okay, so the learning objectives of our session for this night is number 1, we need to define what is production management, because the topic is about production management. Okay, so we have to define the principles and also the things that is defining what does production management means. Okay, and also we have to differentiate the production into operation, because there are misconfusion about in supply chain about these two terms, the production and also the operations. Okay, and also we have to classify the different production system and also the characteristic of a production system, and at the same time what is the impact of production management, and also production operation in the supply chain management. Okay, so we're hoping that we're able to tackle everything that we are in the objectives. Okay, so on your slide number 4, what you can see there is about production management. Okay, so as our first objective is about what is production management. So nowadays, in our industry, we only know about hotel, restaurant, coffee shop, but some of us didn't know yet the back of the office or back operation of our industry. So most of the time, production management has plays a very important and essential role in the hospitality and tourism industry. With the use of production management, we could have an ample amount of inventory of our products that we could able to use for our operation inside our business. Okay, so basically, production management does not only referring only to service to product industry, but at the same time in our industry, in the service. Okay, so as you define production management in the presentation, it is defined as planning, implementation, and control of industrial production process to ensure smooth and efficient operation. Okay, so as we analyze the first bullet on the presentation, when you say production management, it's about planning, controlling, organizing, about the industrial processes that we are facing or encountering in that area, particularly in the production of products and services. Okay, so once we say industrial, it means it's pabrika, it's manufacturing. So these are referring to a very large place wherein production took place. Diyan nyo pinoproduce yung napakadaming produkto. Diyan nyo ginagawa yung mga produkto from raw materials down to unpartial or unfinished goods items that you will be able to deliver in some of the branches of your handled company. Okay, so bakit nga ba ginagawa ang production management? It's just not only for making a very large number of items, but at the same time, this production management helps to make the operation easier, smooth, and efficient to the operation of the business. Okay, so this production management helps the company to be able to align and also to plan the number of products that they need to produce, how this number of products will able to be produced, and at the same time, what are the processes that needs to be taken in order to produce that product. Okay, so all of these things are binding in production management. Okay, and also on the bullet number 2 on slide 4, you can see there that production management are used both in manufacturing and service industry. So meaning hindi lang sa industriya ng FMCG or the fast-moving consumer goods yung production, but at the same time, production management is also under the service industry, which are our industry, the hospitality and tourism, because with the use of production management, we have an ample number of items that we could able to produce in our restaurants, in our coffee shop, in our bar, in our hotel, in our tourism sectors, or etc. etc. Okay, so those are the things that is about the production management. Now, on slide number 5, what you can see there is the differences between production and operations. Because sometimes people are confused about these two terms, the production and then operation, but they are alike or different with each other. So let's analyze one by one. Okay, so on production management, the number one term that you can found there is it is concerned with manufacturing. As we all know, as I have mentioned a while ago, when you say manufacturing, they are the company or they are a place wherein a large number of items was produced in mass. So usually it's a very big facility wherein all the products that needed by all the branches are process there. Okay, so most likely when you say production management, it's mostly focused on manufacturing only. Okay, but on the operation management, they are focused on services. Kaya nga nasabi nating operations management, more on taking efficiently or um, running smoothly the technicalities of delivering the products and services. How are you going to deliver as soon as possible this product, or how are you going to meet the standards of your customer in an efficient and effective way? So most likely these are services which are discussed in the operation management. Okay, so that is the number one difference between the two. The production most likely focus on manufacturing, for the operation they are most likely focused on the services, on service. Okay, so on number two, output of production management is tangible. As we all know, on the previews, or rather on the coming slides that we're going to discuss tonight, when you say tangible, these are nahawakan. So mostly ang output na ginagawa ng isang production management is finished item, finished goods, okay? And then on the other hand, when you say output in operation, these are most likely on intangible. Kasi kaya nga natin sinabing services, these are something that you can give to someone by, acting or delivering using your capability, your skills or capability. So this is something that is not touchable, but is something that, intangible, that you can give to someone, okay? Number three, in production management, job use less labor and more equipment. But on the other hand, when you say operation, job use more labor rather than equipment. So unahin natin yung production management. In production management, most likely they are operated by machineries, by machines. Kasi 'di ba, when you enter the pabrika or manufacturing, what you can see in all areas, or almost 80% of the area, are all machineries. Because they are the one who process the goods and services from input to process down to the output. And most of the time, before you produce the item, it will be circulated throughout different machines depending on the product that they are producing. So hindi sila ganon kadaming gumamit ng tao, dahil mostly the one who made the product is usually supported by the machines. But on the other hand, on operation, mostly they are not relying on equipment, on machineries, but more on labor. Kasi kaya nga natin sinabing operation, services, means these are the people who will work out so that it could produce its output. Okay? And also, in production management, there is no customer participation. Why? Because pabrika siya. Most likely, there is no customer that you can see inside the pabrika. Mostly, they are all employee because they are producing the items. And it's not the responsibility of the customer. It's the responsibility of the workers inside the manufacturing. Okay? But on the other hand, on operation, there is a frequent customer participation. When you say frequent, kadalasan, they need customers so that they could deliver a better services. Like for instance, asking customer what do they want in terms of delivery. Is it cash on delivery? Is it through bank? So as an operator or service manager, I need to ask my customer so that I would understand what do they need. So that that will be the thing that we will process in our service sectors. Okay? So those are the four things that differs between operation and production management. So kindly please see slide number 5 and then go back to my video so that you would understand well per line item. Okay? Now, on the slide number 6, you can see there a concept of production. So, I just put some more elaboration on how are you going to differentiate a production management. Okay? So, on the first bullet, you can see there that a production defines as 3 step-by-step conversion of form of material into another form through chemical or mechanical process to create or enhance the utility of the product to the user. So this is usually the model that we are encountering not only in production but also in other areas of our study. The input, the process, and then the output. So these are the 3 by 3 step. So that from input, most likely these are from the raw materials down to the process, which is most likely more on the production, and down to the output or the finished item. Okay, so thus when you say production, every step, it's a value added process or value addition process. Kapag kasi sinabi natin value addition process, every step that is taken, it adds value to the product. Okay, so like for instance, if you're going to produce a certain bread or tinapay, from flour down to the processing until maging bread siya, each step para magawa siya as a bread, there is a value adding condition. Nag-a-add ng value yung per step by step na paggawa ng tinapay in the manufacturing, because it makes the product, provides the quality that you need in terms of physical context, in terms of its taste, in terms of other criteria that you're looking for a certain product. Okay, that's why production is also on yung process nila or step by step, it adds value addition on it. Okay, now on slide number 7, you can see their diagram wherein what I'm saying with you, the input, process, output is example. Okay, so you can see on the inputs, these are the 7 M's. The 7 M's are what you need so that you could able to produce the input. Okay, ano nga ba ulit yung input? Input, these are the things that you need so that you could produce the product. So example natin ng mga inputs are the man, machine, money, capital, money or capital, or anything that you need para mabuo mo yung isang produkto. Okay, and then on the transformation process, these are the step in the schematic process system wherein ito yung mga ginagawa nyo para maproseso nyo yung isang produkto. First thing natin is product design. During transformation process, in product design, in this process, you are finalizing what's the prototype, what's the dimension, what's the size, what's the color, or what's the overall perspective of the item. So usually it comes with the transformation process. Okay, the next one is the process planning. When you say process planning, you're planning how will be the process for you to produce the item. Is it through testing? Then after testing, there will be feedback. Then after feedback, it will be formulated to the item. The next one is testing. So in this portion, in the transformation process, under process planning, dito ginagawa nyo or pinagpaplanuhan nyo what will be the overall step-by-step criteria para ma-produce mo yung isang item itself. Okay? And then you also have the production control. So when you say control, it means these are the measures that you need so that you can able to monitor if nagagawa ba na maayos yung bagay na nandun sa proseso na yon. Okay, and also maintenance. And then after the transformation process, the second one, the third one is the output. So, ito na yung pinaka-finished item. So, here, after you gather the needed items or needed resources, which is from the input, and then able to process everything on the process, then that's the time that you're able to produce the output that needs, which is the products or the services that you can find in the output. So, as simple as that. But behind that, there is a what should I say this middle lower part portion that you can see on the slide wherein it's continuous. When you say continuous, during the process mayroong iba pang mga nangyayari, and yung makikita nyo doon sa mismong PowerPoint is the inventory, quality, and cost. So during process, mayroon kayong tatlong dapat bantayan. Number one is inventory. Inventory will be one of our topic by finals, but to give you an orientation, inventory is the way on how a company able to sum up and then balance their assortment of items. So using inventory, you would able to know if enough na ba yung product in your warehouse, or should I order additional items. And also using inventory, you will able to avoid expiration. You will able to know what are the products that needs to flash out or needs to sell ASAP because may expired na siya. Okay? Number 2, quality. That's self-explanatory. And then number 3 is the cost. We all know that in supply chain, that is basically the one thing that we need to monitor, the cost. That's why in the process, isa siya dun sa mga binabantayan. Okay? And that is the schematic production system that you can find in the PowerPoint presentation. Okay? Now, let's move on to the characteristic of production system. So, on slide 9, you can see there 4 characteristics that you can able to analyze a certain production system. Okay? So, number 1 natin is production is an organized activity. So, every production system has an objective. So, we all know that. A while ago, I was able to tell you that in terms of production system, we have input, process, and output. Meaning, there is an organized way on how to deal with things or on how to produce a certain items. So, using this organized activity, the operation is making it very easy or efficient to produce an output because there is a direction and there is a pattern that everyone that involved in the process can follow. So yun naman yung isa sa mahalaga in business. There should be an organized way on how to produce a certain items. Kasi kapag wala siyang any organized way, sasabog ang negosyo. Kasi iba-iba yung gagawin or ifa-follow ng iyong workers. Okay? And also number 2, the system transforms the various input to useful output. So, as I mentioned a while ago, using input na from single harina, you can convert that harina in many outputs such as bread, such as pizza, such as flour rather, such as pasta, or any other output that can be useful from flour, yung naging base niya. So, using production, nakakapag-produce ka ng different variety of items from a very single input itself. Okay? And also, number 3, it does not operate in isolation from the other organization system. When you say isolation, nakahiwalay siya. So, ang kinaganda ng production system is it's not isolated. Meaning, it's within the company and it's concerned and connected with other industry or in other departments in the company. Yun naman yung mahalaga about production at kinaganda niya. Dahil lahat ng department ay involved so that they could able to produce the needed output. And also, there exists a feedback about the activity. So, ito yung isa sa mahalaga in production. There is a feedback. When you will work in the warehousing or in the production, sometimes there will be feedback that how was the production, how was the process, how was the condition of the food, and usually it comes with the employee, it comes with selected number of people. Baka nila ginagawa to. Feedback is very important so that they could use those feedback to improve their service. Feedback is what customer says and it is what people saw on the actual operation. So using that kind of interaction or intervention, ang company ay naaalagaan nila at naayos nila agad-agad yung operation because they are getting feedback which the people who encountered ay sila yung nagbibigay. Okay? So, yun naman yung kinaganda ng production system. So those are the 4 things that you should remember only in the production system. Now on slide number 10, you can see there the classification of production. When you say classification of production, dito naka-classify kung ano-anong types ng production ang ginagawa. We all know that in manufacturing, they differs each other. They differs the way they produce item and they differs the way they deal with what kind of customer that they're going to give the product itself. Okay? So, you have 4 classification of production system. So, number 1, you have the job shop production. Number 2, batch production. number 3, the mass production, and then the number 4 is the continuous production. So these are the classification of production system. So on number 1, you can see there the job shop production. When you say job shop production, this is characterized by manufacturing of one or few quantity of products designed and produced as per the specification of customers within prefixes time and cost. So usually, ang job shop production, ito yung mga types ng production system wherein you produce item that is not generic but rather they are personal or they are intended only for this kind of market. Okay? So example natin, in right now in the COVID-19, in many hospitals they're using different technology, they're using different machines or what medical equipment is that. So yung mga medical equipment na yun, hindi yan nabibili in supermarket, in hypermarket, in hardware, but these are the things that is, you know, personally or talaga may pinagpapagawaan sila. At yung tawag nyo sa production na yun is job shop because they are only a single one, that they are only producing that kind of item. And usually, kapag naman sinabi mo din job shop production, it's personalized, it's based on the preference of the customer or the preference of the client on what they want to be the itsura of mismo product itself. Okay? So, in terms of job production, that it distinguishes with low volume and a high variety of product. When you say low volume, gaya nga sabi ko, since it's isa lang, konti lang yung order niya or yung volume. Pero in terms of variety of product, maganda siya and with quality. Kasi nga, intended lang siya for this kind of market itself. Okay? And also, a job shop each demand unique technological requirements, demand processing on machine in a certain sequence. When you say that kind of words that you can found in slide number 13, number 3, kapag gumagamit ka or kapag ang setup ng isang manufacturing ay job shop production, means there are certain technological requirement na kailangan. Dahil nga, yun lang yung kailangan or yun yung kinakailangan para ma-produce yung item na yun that you are asking or requesting from the company. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung mga characteristics of job shop production? So, I'll just need to discuss some of the terms that are not yet discussed kasi some of the words or sentences that you can found in some of the slides, specifically this one, is I discussed on previous what we call this discussion kanina. Okay, so one of the characteristic of job shop production is number 1, highly skilled operators. So usually this kind of production medyo batikan na and skilled na yung mga taong gumagawa. Kasi nga, gaya na nasabi natin, they are personalized, they are intended only for this kind of market, so that in terms of manpower that they're going to do, dapat yung skilled or yung may hawak, okay? And also, you need large inventory of materials, tools, and parts because sometimes, the more na mas personalized or the more na mas unique yung isang produkto, it requires a lot of things to put up with on its machine, on its technical aspects itself, okay? So, ano ba yung mga advantages and the limitation ng job shop production? When you say advantages, number 1, because of the general purpose of machine and facilities, variety of product can be produced. Then, operators will become more skilled and competent. Kasi nga, the more that they do the product, the more that they are able to, you know, enhance their capability to produce that kind of item. And also, full potential operators can be utilized. The more na mas personalized yan, the more na mas kailangan mo ng mas experiensyang tao. So, yung full capacity of that person to produce that output was able to showcase because that is what the customer wants for the product itself. Okay? Then, on the limitations, you have number 1, higher cost due to frequent setup changes. Ito naman yung isa sa limits niya, or should I say scope itself. Okay, so higher cost So you have some setup that is intended only for this kind of product. So yun lang or hanggang dun lang yung kailangan yung gagawin doon. Okay? Number two type of production system is what you call the batch production. So when you say batch production, it's a form of manufacturing in which the job passes through functional departments in lots or batches. So usually this kind of batch production are made from mid to big manufacturing services. So, example natin dyan yung mga companies that producing coffee items or that they are producing yung mga crackers, mga breads, wherein before they run on a certain process, meron pang mga pinagdadaanan ng mga department or batch, such as purchasing. So, of course, purchasing, they are responsible in buying what your operation needs in terms of producing that item, and also dumadaan yan after ng purchasing kay accounting or finance to fund what do you need, and then after ng finance or accounting, it comes with inventory or etc etc. So when you say batch production, before it produce, it comes with different processes or batches. Marami pa siyang pinagdadaanan. And at the same time, wala pa dyan sa operation na kung saan kapag sa operation, marami pang pagdadaanan na sectors. Like, when we visited the Gardenia, I think it's in Tagaytay ba or Laguna. That's when I was in 4th year college pa. Okay, so before they produce the bread, it comes with a very single step pa na magpipino pa sila ng flour, and then after that they mix that on a big bowl, they segregate the mixes items, etc etc. So it is an example of batch production itself. Okay, and then the third one, you have the mass production. When you say mass production, this production system is justified by very large volume of production. Kaya nga siya mass, madamihan. When you say mass production, ito yung mga production wherein bultuhan, malakihan. So usually these are the production that is, yung output nila ay ang kailangan ay mga supermarkets. That when I was working in To Go, when a certain market or certain retail ordered an items, talagang madamihan sila in cases. Sometimes, minsan buong truck pa, puno yun. And this buong truck is only for that kind of store. So, usually, mass production yung ginagawa dun. Wherein, in a day, they producing a lot of cases or a lot of pieces of item because that is what ordered by the customer itself. So usually you can have this kind of production doon sa mga customer nila ay mga retailers or yung mga supermarket that you can find in the market itself. Okay, and then the last one, is very generic. It's continuous production. When you say continuous production facilities are arranged as per the sequence of production operation from the first operation to the finished product. So the items are made to flow through the sequence of operations to materials handling devices such as convey, transfer devices. So, etong type ng production na to is medyo high-tech or high-level. Kasi from the time that you gather the raw materials you need until mapunta siya into a finished item, it comes with different technological or way on how to test the quality of the material, etc etc. Usually this kind of production ay applicable doon sa mga basic necessity natin such as water. In water, I'm not yet so familiar about their production, but of course I know it comes with many ways on testing the water, the quality, and they are conveying it. Usually, it comes with a very scientific and highly technological process. So, ang mga tawag yun sa production is continuous production, okay? Wherein it involves with a lot of ways on how to test the quality of the materials that we're going to use and afterwards to produce that kind of output, okay? And that is what about the classification, okay? And then let's move on to the fourth objective wherein you can find in the slide 26. So as you can see, medyo mabilis. I haven't discussed some of the slide because it's self-explanatory, and then when we have our face-to-face interaction on the actual day ng klase natin, I'll able to discuss it with you thoroughly, okay? So that you would have a better understanding muna, and also you can have a recap or pwede nyo balikan dito sa mga mahalagang terms so that I record it, okay? So you have, let's down to the objectives of production management. So you have 4: right quality, right quantity, right time, and then right manufacturing cost. So unahin natin yung right quality. We all know that in our industry, quality is really important. Based on my own way of expressing, quality means it's equal to customer satisfaction. Quality is the way on, this is meeting the expectation of your customer based on their preferences. And that is about quality. Quality is one of a very important and essential thing that, possessed by a product. So using production management, it helps our company to be able to put up or to be able to have our product with high quality. Kasi it comes with different processes. It comes with different ways on how to make that kind of items. At alam natin yan na kapag ang isang produkto ay nagdaan sa iba't ibang proseso, ay meron yung quality because tinetest natin yung mga qualifications and at the same time yung criteria so that it will be moved to another process itself. Okay, number 2, right quantity. So using production, this is our topic after this session, the forecasting. So in forecasting, you are able to you were able to have a picture here on how many items are you going to produce so that you could meet the demand of your customer in the future. So using production management, if I connect that, you were able to showcase here ilan ba talaga yung kailangan i-produce. So nagkakaon kayo ng basis on how many items are you going to produce lang. It's quantifiable. And then right time. So right time, it means using production management, you're able to meet the objective in terms of delivery, in terms of this time, this number of items are you going to produce. So very important on time on production management. And then the last one is what you call the right manufacturing cost. So in the right manufacturing cost, we all know that, as I've mentioned with you, cost is one of the thing that we need to secure and always monitor in supply chain. Kasi nga, di ba, kaya we do supply chain to minimize the cost in terms of delivery, in terms of production, in terms of meeting the customer expectation. So, iyan yung isa sa ating mga binabantayan, especially now that we are having an increased gasoline fee. Am I right? And also in manufacturing costs, kailangan nyo din bantayan dyan yung mga warehousing costs, manpower costs, inventory costs, or any other related costs that, binding between production system. Okay, and that is the whole presentation. It's a 38 minutes presentation, but I hope you will able to understand our topic right now. Okay, so my message to all my first year student rather, and also all my students, please bear with us with our way of teaching you right now. This is what we didn't expect, and at the same time, this is what we need to do so that we could able to meet the learning that you need right now, even though we're facing many difficulties. I know it's a little bit hard from us, but I believe that if we're able to cooperate with each other, we could have an amazing interaction online or virtual. Okay, so thank you so much for all the students who will able to listen in my presentation, and I will upload it right now after the presentation. So shout out sa aking mga followers dyan. Okay, so thank you so much. I love you all, my first year HM and also my second year student. Good night.